Indigenous peoples from small island developing states such as those in the Caribbean on Monday gave their perspectives on disaster risk reduction at a global platform for disaster risk reduction. They said that too often the voices and perspectives of indigenous peoples are overlooked or not taken into consideration in decision-making practices, despite a tremendous wealth of accumulated knowledge. However, Ruth Spencer of Antigua and Barbuda said that while indigenous peoples and local communities want to be singled out, they have to begin to mainstream.
We need to know in our countries what laws exist that gives us that voice. For example, in Latin America and the Caribbean, we have the Escazú Agreement. And I and my groups, we use that to hold the government accountable because it gives us a voice. So we have to know in our individual countries the regulations in place and use them to empower our local groups. It's very important. Otherwise, we're going to be sidelined. We won't know what's happening. So that's my push today, integrate, because at the local level, we are doing so much actions that sometimes the governments don't even know about. We are meeting global agendas and targets, but we got to push ourselves. Use what laws and regulations are on the books to get our voices heard stronger.
Presenting a Pacific Islands perspective, Caroline Kutoni of Fiji said science does not contradict indigenous knowledge of how the environment works.
But when the science is coming out, it needs to be told in a way that even indigenous people can understand so that the work is going together. They do not contradict each other. There is not a single indigenous person in the Pacific that we've spoken to that says that the science contradicts what they've already known. But we do know that knowledge is localized to the area, and so our strategies are very context specific. And this is where we ask that investment be made to ensure that we are allowed to have these context-specific strategies as well, to ensure that as we're talking about building back better and resilient communities, the communities are allowed to drive their own agenda from the resources that they have in the way that they want it as well.
The Global Platform for Disaster Risk Reduction is taking place here through Friday, and during the conference, participants take stock of progress, share new knowledge and exchange best practices and discuss the latest developments and trends in reducing disaster risk. Kenton Chance, Geneva, Switzerland, CMC News.